Dun, 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 dun. Welcome back to Strongman. Welcome back, everybody. I got Jay Noggy in the house and his little buddy, Nathan Roscoe at nathanroscoe.com. He's a comedian. Anyway, welcome, guys. What's up?
Nothing. I'm trying to figure it out now, but I think it's got to be one of Jeremy's guys because he came on two of my videos. He goes, "This guy's trying to be a professional YouTuber. It's not going to happen." And I go, "Oh, okay. Well, that just makes me want to do it even more." But then he made the comment, "This guy's drunk," on Paul Gabriel on my video where I was making fun of his SWOT analysis, and I'm like, yeah, didn't mention Paul in that video. So I swear it's got to be one of Meat Spin Kevin's dudes, or it's got to be one of Jeremy's dudes. Because if you notice, Jeremy doesn't use his music anymore. We got to him on that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he watches our videos because I know one of his coaches is subscribed. So I know they're like, somebody's watching the videos. But they're gonna have to address us eventually once we get big enough.
Well, dude, this is the reason.
Dude, they probably drop video links in their Discord.
Yeah,
I'm sure they do. I mean, I have some spies, so maybe I'll follow up on them and see what's going on in there.
But here's why I know that. Yeah, I know that those guys know we exist. But here's why I'll just say they're flat cowards. You can sit there and say like, hey, your channel doesn't have enough people for it to warrant it. But even if I had millions of subscribers, if somebody was actively saying that I was full of crap, I'd be like, hey, man, why don't you come on my channel and debate me? I'd be like, it's going to do really well for you. But I would just come on and make them look stupid and be like, so you're saying that you should buy Palantir stock for what reason? I would just have them on and just end it at that. But that's how I know that they're cowards and they don't actually know what they're talking about.
Well, I mean, they just don't want to, mention us because, like, if you mention us, then we just grow bigger, and then that's more of a threat to their business because their livelihood is based on YouTube. They don't have. I mean, I think Meatspin has other stuff, but most of their livelihood, most of their income is from YouTube and selling courses. So the more bad press, the less they sell. So they're not going to promote somebody that's jumping on their channel.
It wouldn't even be promoting. Like I said, if I had their channel size and I actively knew some guy was mocking me to the level that we mock them, I would honestly say, hey, come on my channel. Let's have a debate about this.
I mean, they know I'd tear them freaking apart. I mean, did you see that video I did about Lufufu recently, how he sold Corsair stock?
I was cracking. Bro, I was cracking up at work. I was at work listening to that, cracking up when you were talking about how dumb he is and his tax. He's like, he doesn't even understand tax loss harvesting.
No, I mean, he's trying to reduce his tax liability. So, I mean, if you have gains, you sell other stocks at a loss, and that offsets your tax bill. But he doesn't even understand the difference between taxable income and tax liability. Taxable income is what you're taxed on. That's you take your tax rate multiplied by your taxable income. Okay. Whereas tax liability is the taxes you owe. So he completely confused the taxes that he owed with his taxable income. Like, he has no idea what he's talking about. That's why it's so sad.
Well, it's not. There's a thing that people do, and I don't understand why they do it, because it ultimately makes you look stupider later on. And that's just not admit that you don't know something, or just, hey man, refresh my memory on this. Because in all honesty, on whether to buy a stock or not, you'll hear me talk about that and I'll figure out its intrinsic value, but I'm not going to give you tax advice. I don't possess that knowledge, and I'm not even going to make it out like I do. Like, if somebody was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing tax loss harvesting, what do you think? I think you should talk to the guy that does your taxes every year. That's what I think.
Or no,
You know,
or
it's like,
tax advantage accounts. I don't do tax loss harvesting.
yeah, and well, it's even in the world of finance. I don't have a problem admitting that I don't know something. I don't
Oh,
fuck off. I don't have a problem.
Answer that. It's Jeremy.
It probably is, but I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem admitting that I don't figure out the intrinsic value of stocks using EBITDA. And I don't know how to do it. I could figure it out if I really wanted to, but I have my own way. So I don't care. And to be perfectly honest with you, if I was going to just run one way to figure out an intrinsic value on a stock, I would just run its gram number. It's the easiest, simplest, and fastest way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, EBITDA is just like people that use EBITDA are people that, they're promoting unprofitable stocks because it's a way to increase your profitability because you don't include depreciation or amortization, which is like a non-cash expense, into your calculations of profitability. I think it's stupid.
Well, that's what with my limited one accounting 1 and 2, and that's what I thought on. I'm like, when I saw it, and I'm like, yeah, but what about your depreciation and all that other stuff? And when I looked at it, I was like, okay, so you're going to figure out it this way. But I looked at it and I was like, this doesn't make any sense to me. It's just easier to grow its earnings per share, use a terminal multiple of 15 to figure out the stock's intrinsic value.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing, like depreciation is you buy a building, for example, that building costs you $1 million. That's a cost of your business. You just spread it out over time. That's what depreciation is.
Yeah.
So if you ignore that, you're just like, oh, it doesn't matter if you could buy 1 trillion buildings and make no profits. But, if you ignore depreciation, man, you're really kicking butt there. You're really profitable. It's a freaking joke.
Yeah. So, I mean, but because it's like, it's something I said in that video on the SWOT analysis he does. He goes, oh, the total addressable market. I just think to myself, who cares what the total addressable market is? Like, why are you factoring that in? That doesn't factor into the math. Yeah, later on, when it's at its maximum size, you could consider it. But here's what I do. Let's figure out how much I should pay for Walmart. What's its total addressable market? Don't know, don't care.
Yeah, it's all about a lot of these guys. They just use terminology that makes them sound intelligent. Tax loss harvesting, total addressable market. And they just kind of spit out a bunch of terms, and that makes them seem like they're intelligent when they really don't know what the hell they're talking about. That's the whole grift.
Well, it's going to be hilarious. All the people that come on our channel and they make comments to us, the thing is I can tell what it is. They have their ego wrapped up in it. Because I've said this numerous times on my channel. I am a fan of Joe Rogan's podcast. I will take zero amount of time to defend him on the internet. If your opinion of Rogan is that he's a complete moron and he shouldn't have his podcast, I'm just going to say, okay, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But yet these guys will come on our channel. I don't understand this because if somebody told me that, say, everything money doesn't know what they're talking about, I would be like, okay, well, fascinating. Tell me more and why. I'm not going to go on there and get mad about some people I don't actually know.
Well, it's not that they're defending the people. I think because they're probably heavily invested in some of these speculative stocks. So it's not just their ego. It's like their future, their livelihood is wrapped up. And if these stocks go to crap, their whole life is destroyed, their financial life.
But here's the thing, man. I bought 12 shares of British American Tobacco. Tiny portion of my portfolio. Basically an experiment to me because I ran the numbers and it looks like it's a $48 stock to me. And it's also trading below its gram number and below its book value. Okay. Let me see if my theory is correct. I bought 12 shares of it. I'm probably going to go up to 20. But if somebody on my channel commented down in the comments. They go, no, dude, go look at this, this, and this. I think you're wrong. I would go and look at it and say, oh, okay, maybe I'm missing something here. I don't know. I'm not.
I don't think you are.
I don't think I am either. The only thing that bothers me about the company, and I look the other way because it's tobacco, is doesn't have its current ratio is below 1. But I go, they sell an addictive product. But I'm just saying, if somebody told me I was way off on a stock, I would want to know what they're saying. And if somebody I listened to, somebody came along and they said, dude, stop listening to that guy. If it was any subject and they go, he does not know what he's talking about, let me show you why, I would go, oh, okay. And I'm going to listen to you. But these guys get their ego wrapped up in it because they're young. And they're no matter how much you defend Meet Kevin and LaFufu there, they are wrong and you are going to lose money. Smile Direct Club is hot speculative trash. No matter how you look at it. Like your entire thesis is he was saying on his channel, Smile Direct Club is a $20 stock. Based on what? What are you basing this on? Your theory, or not even a theory, your hypothesis that people are all of a sudden going to start ordering shit from Smile Direct Club? You're a moron. Stop telling people what to buy.
Jay, it's because masks are going away. Okay.
Well, and I mean, he took Corsair. I had to listen to this dude for a year saying, Corsair, it's the future. Going, it's about fair value right now, but what do you believe is going to happen in the future? Me saying, I don't think the growth in the computer industry is going to continue at this, and it's projected online to grow at 9% a year. So even if I put Corsair above the 9% growth rate, it's still slightly overvalued, or it was last time I looked at it. So then this moron comes along and they go, I'm tax loss harvesting. Fucking crab people. I'm like,
on fire today. I like this.
Yeah, but I'm sitting there and I'm just going, I scratch my head and I go, you prey on people's ignorance. I don't care if I never get my channel to the size of his. I don't care. I would rather be able to sleep at night going, yeah, man, I'm just not seeing it on this stock despite all the hype.
Yeah,
some people just want to sell their butt.
Yeah.
Oh, I said some people just want to sell their butt.
Yeah, talk about AMC investors. Those are guys that are really going to be selling their butts pretty soon.
Dude. They're like,
What's the deal?
Spider-Man No Way Home was a good movie. AMC stock.
AMC goes up, what, 20%? It's still like way down from its all-time highs. Oh, it went up.
Dude, I had a guy. This is how ridiculous people are. I did Disney, and I was talking about how I have no faith in Marvel Phase 4. The reason I said that is because that's going to hit Disney's bottom line. This guy starts mocking me on my Disney projections, and I'm like, this guy, why are you commenting? Why do you care at the end of the day? Like,
well, I mean, a lot of these guys are religious. It's almost like a religion. Like for example, AMC. It's a lot of these guys' last hope. Like they're desperate. They don't have a lot of money. They've been unsuccessful in life. And they think, oh, well, this is my last chance to salvage my life and become a millionaire and go live on, Ape Island or whatever. So they've put all their money into this stock that's been getting annihilated, and they're getting freaking pissed, and they're desperate. That's what's happening with this stock and all the other, hype stuff.
I agree with you. Are we debating?
Scientology is a better investment than AMC.
What?
Are we debating?
I said the Church of Scientology is a better investment than AMC.
Probably.
Yeah, I bet you the Church of Scientology is probably profitable.
It is.
Oh, dude, it is.
Come down to Clearwater. Go to the city of Clearwater and look at all the boarded up buildings. That's all.
Dude.
That's all Scientologists walking around. They're weird, man.
Dude, I did a comedy show at the Church of Scientology. They were so nice. It was so weird.
Because they're trying to lure you in so you spend money.
Yeah.
If you want
Well,
a nice religion, go become a Mormon. Those people are just super nice.
Salt Lake City, yeah.
They're freakishly nice, I'll say that. But so in regards to the DOCKFATHER, we are going to debate him. Okay, I'm trying to get him. He wants me to go on this channel called like Telly or Teletubby or something like that. It's like I don't know who this freaking loser is. Like, you come on my channel, I'll go on yours. I'm not going to some random clown's channel to debate you. But it's going to happen. I'm going to freaking tear him apart, and it's going to be glorious.
He's going to make a circus out of it.
If I'm on there with you, it's just going to compound it.
Yeah, I mean, so what I'm trying to do is we can do like a 2v2, because I don't know if he's going to want two people debating him at once, or maybe you can do it separately. But if we can do a 2v2, he has like a bunch of smaller channels he like hypes up. So if we could have one of those guys on, we could do a 2v2 and just freaking trash them.
I don't think they're going to do guys.
Yeah, because I think at the end of this, he's going to be sitting there. Because, I mean, it's not going to take long. When you're sitting there, one of two things is going to become clear. If you're sitting there calmly talking logic, he's going to be shown to be the zealot he is that's basically adhering to a stock religion. When you say to him, okay, why are you saying AMC is going to $100,000 a share or $500,000? Then all you need to do is do the simple math. And I don't know what it is, but at a certain point, the market cap just becomes so ridiculous. You're going to look at him and say, so you're saying AMC, a movie theater chain, is going to have a market cap that's the equivalent of 1/3 of the GDP of the United States of America. Is this like all the apes coming down there to sell their butts in the bathroom at AMC so they can buy more AMC? Like, how does this work? Like, it all comes down to cash flows, my dude.
There's going to be a short squeeze, bro. Because, like, apparently here's the funniest thing. They say the hedge funds, they're screwed. They have all these short shares of AMC. You think they're just sitting there and just waiting to get screwed over? Or do you think they're actually taking some actions to mitigate their risk? I think the second option is more likely. But, they're so convinced that it's just a matter of time. They're going to win. It's just sad. It's just
dudes that work at hedge funds are so much smarter than the average dude that's buying AMC that it is really like probably a trained chimp sitting there trying to understand what the hedge fund dude is saying to him. The chimp is sitting there going, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to start a short squeeze. Okay. Well, the dude that works for me has a PhD in mathematics. So let's see how this works out for you. It's
the apes are going to win, bro. You just have to believe. You just have faith.
I could believe all day long that I can jump off a building and survive, but it's probably not the case.
You know what's really funny to me about AMC is, okay, let's say it does short squeeze, right? If one share is going to become $100,000, why not just buy like 10 shares, or maybe 20 shares, just as a speculative investment, and then have everything else in more, realistic investments? Because you don't have to have your entire portfolio in AMC. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, how you want to be a multi-trillionaire? I mean, come on. Why risk your entire life savings when you could just buy a couple shares and still become a billionaire, apparently?
Well, because you're operating under the assumption of logic.
That's true. There is no logic on YouTube anymore.
Here you go, bro.
Exist, bro.
Here you go. Right now, AMC Holdings shares outstandings for the quarter ending September 30th, 2021 were 0.513 billion, so 513 million, a 376% increase year over year. So any amount of profit, they have to make 376 times the profit just to break even now for you.
Oh, you said that's share dilution, right?
Yeah, that's that 376% share dilution.
Massive.
Yeah, I can tell you who's
Massive
making
share
money.
dilution.
It's the employees of AMC, because all these clowns are bidding up the stock, and if they get stock options, they can sell them at elevated, ridiculous prices. And then apparently, I mean, I haven't done much research into what like the executives of the company are doing, but they're probably selling a bunch of shares too, because these shares are so elevated that they can make a freaking fortune, and they're smart to cash in right now. And the people that are losing are the people that are buying the stock, listening to these freaking losers on the internet.
Yeah, dude, didn't the CEO like take a vacation because the stock price did what it did? He's like, oh shit, I can take the whole family on vacation now.
Yeah,
sold
man,
a
dude,
bunch
if I
of
was the
shares.
CEO, I would sell all of my stocks right for
Oh God, yeah.
Like,
all
I
of
could
them.
care less what happens tomorrow, dude. Take this profit.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, just like Elon Musk with Tesla. I mean, he's smart too. Sell it right now while it's massively overvalued. Make that money off your dope fans.
I love
Didn't he-
that
he pocketed,
people
like-
think that he's doing it for an altruistic reason to pay taxes. I went on a rant last night about like Elizabeth Warren calling Elon Musk a freeloader, and I was like, I lost the rant because my computer crashed, but it was the irony of Elizabeth Warren calling Elon Musk a freeloader. As much as I think Elon Musk's a grifter, he has honestly done a lot of great things for society in and of, even if it just sparks curiosity in a little kid who grows up and wants to be like Elon Musk, but actually change the world. But Elon is selling those shares because he knows the game is up at a certain point. The Fed is going to have to raise interest rates as much as they can, and Tesla is going to come back down to earth.
Higher
Didn't they
interest
say
rates
they
mean
plan on
higher
doing
stock
3 rate
price,
hikes
right?
next year? Go ahead.
Would you go ahead?
Oh, I said higher interest rate equals higher stock price, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I tried to do that, and this is the number I'm getting. If AMC goes to $100,000 a share, the market cap for AMC will be like 5.13 E plus 13. My chimp brain can't comprehend that number.
Like
so I'm guessing it's like a
something?
quadrillion dollars or some crap like that. Like,
Yeah, I could see
so
that happening.
it's like all you have to do is run simple math, dude.
It's too hard, Jay. They didn't make it past 8th grade math, so.
Dude, you know what, man? Here's the honest truth. If I can convince the ape father to at least sell most of his shares and become a Boglehead investor, I will count 2021 as a successful year and productive year.
Oh, that's my goal. I want him to, if he truly believes the stock's going to go where he thinks it's going to go, why not liquidate the vast majority, leave like 100 or 200 shares? You're going to be a billionaire anyway, bro. And then just put the rest in more responsible investments.
Yeah, because
bro.
it's almost like it's like this. Let's say you have a horse that's a shoe-in a race. Let's say you have a racehorse racing against mules. I'm still not going to put all the money I own on that racehorse, because what if that racehorse falls, trips and breaks its leg, whatever, anything can happen. So it's like, why would you put all of your money on one degenerate gamble?
Pure desperation. That's all it is.
AMC will
sell his butt.
AMC will eventually have to raise more money to stay out of bankruptcy, more dilution. Yeah. Like, it goes to what you believe. This is what I honestly believe the future of movie theaters is. I think movie theaters are going to move into the realm of a special occasion they're going to become more expensive, and it's basically going to be just tentpole movies that are released in theaters, and everything else is going to move to your home. Now that you can buy a 75-inch TV, why do I want to sit next to some dude saying, "Oh, don't go in there. There's the bad guy."
No,
like, I don't want to sit next to that dude when I can sit home and peacefully sit there and watch my movie.
Or the teenager throwing popcorn at you.
Or some obese person.
That's me.
No, you've been in a movie theater before when some fat loser whose diet is the same as a garbage disposal has farted, and you're sitting there watching the movie and you're looking around and you're going, which one of you disgusting pieces of crap just did that?
It's probably the guy with
me.
like McDonald's residue on his shirt.
It's probably the ape father sitting there eating a bowl of mac and cheese. Somehow he's got a bowl of mac and cheese, even though AMC only sells buttered, crappy popcorn.
He's there celebrating AMC hitting $100,000 a share. He's just throwing popcorn at Jay.
He's throwing mac and
Spider-Man was
cheese
a
at the
success.
back of my head.
It was Spider-Man, bro. I mean, just because there's a lot of people in the theater, obviously it's a good fundamental play now.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Well, it does have that chick Zendaya in it, and she's really easy to look at.
Zendaya?
Yeah.
Let me go.
That's the current Mary Jane.
Zendaya? Spider-Man? I know.
Yeah, she's playing
Zendaya.
Huh?
Zendaya?
Zendaya. That's how you say it. Yeah, she's really easy to look at, so maybe AMC will go to $100,000 a share.
That's all. Oh, she's
Yeah.
hot. Buy the stock.
Yeah, anything that confirms my bias, I believe in.
No, dude, yeah, you're right. It's like arguing with people about cryptocurrency. It's always, to me, this is where it ends. After I tell them it has no cash flows, it has no intrinsic value. Yeah, but it could one day. Okay, that's what you want to base your retirement off of. It could.
It's the future. Come on. Just buy it, bro.
I mean, honestly, I wish I had devoted to learning about cryptocurrencies and just used 1% of my portfolio. Because if I had known anything about them, I could have been like, this is a scam, but I can make money off it.
I mean, that's what most investors do is they jump onto hype and try to ride momentum and make money.
Well, yeah, I want to. What I actually want to learn is I want to learn day trading just so I can understand what Mo from Everything Money is doing, like, and whether it's complicated. Because I've talked to a couple of day traders on my channel, and they said what he's doing is not hard.
I mean, it's just following trends. It's like, oh, okay, it's reached the support line, so buy here, and then it's losing support. I mean, I don't think it's that complicated. You just have to dedicate time to do it.
But I want to run an experiment on it. I want to see if I can get good at it and whether I can actually beat an index fund with that process. And I don't think I can, which is one of the reasons why I still do why I'm going to continue doing the M1 Finance channel, because the numbers become so clear, it's ridiculous. You have these guys bragging about their gains, and then I just go, yep, right here, Dave Ramsey's wet taint, 55% return over the past year.
Were you able to change the name finally?
Huh?
Weren't you trying to change the name, like trying to contact M1? Like, were you able to actually change it?
Yeah, now I've added a new pie called Ted Bundy's Travel Kit.
What's in that one?
That one
Bundy's
is
crowbar.
Right now, it's just the total world market as a baseline, and I'm going to create other pies that are built around the entire world market. My theory, my hypothesis is over 20 to 30 years, if I'm still alive, no YouTuber nobody outside of like a few elite investors will beat the portfolio that I set up of index funds. And it's going to probably be the total world market, a mid cap, a REIT, and the Vanguard healthcare sector. And I don't think anybody on YouTube will beat that. And that's why I want to just show, like, Sven Carlin, I don't disagree with what he's saying in his most recent video, but I disagree with what he's saying. He was talking about the Peter Lynch video that you did, where you said Peter Lynch is wrong, and I actually agree with you. And it was basically Sven was saying, well, if you're okay with a 5 to 6% return, but we can do better. And if I was talking to him in person, I would say, you can do better because you have the education to do better. The average person works 40 hours a week. You have more than 40 hours a week to research stocks. That's why you can beat the market. The average person doesn't have the education or the time to do that.
Or the temperament. That's the number one thing is
the temperament either. Stay the course. 90 to 95% of your money in index funds, you will do great. And it's even, think about this. If you look at the projected returns over the next 10 years, Vanguard put it out and they said it's probably going to be negative. Good. If your time horizon is 30 years, good. That means you're picking it up cheaper and cheaper as it goes along till it goes up again.
Yeah, and I can tell. I mean, the bubble's just getting bigger and bigger because you look at VT, even VT now, it's like 63% U.S. stocks now. It used to be like 55 or 60. And now it's like, holy crap. You know, even me, it's kind of like, dang, should I reallocate? I mean, I'm going to stick with it, but it's just getting crazy how overvalued the U.S. market is relative to the world.
Jay, I actually have a real question. So it was the question I basically sent you. Do you think for like the next year until I'm like active duty that I could probably be okay just doing like 100 or 150 a month in the Roth?
Yeah, why wouldn't you put the most amount? You should be maxing your Roth until you go in.
Well, I'm maxing my Roth, but I'm not like once I'm done with college, I stopped getting a stipend from the Air Force. So I'm basically going to have less money to invest. So I'll probably just settle with like a couple hundred maybe, or like 200 a month.
Your Roth should be your top priority, especially for you because you're so young. You have so much time ahead of you. You should be trying to crush that Roth until you go in the military. And then you should be crushing your TSP. And then once you've crushed that, crush your Roth, then anything else that you want to buy.
Well, yeah, I already told you about like Publix being like my main holding, but I'm working my Roth.
See the thing about that and why I don't have a problem with that is you're going to load up on it for so long. Okay. And then once you join the military and you start loading up your TSP, that Publix is going to shrink more and more as you go on. And unless you plan on working at Publix part-time, you're not going to be able to buy their stock anymore. And Publix is a great company, even if you just want it for the dividends in your portfolio.
Yeah,
it's a great company.
That's the main reason I hold Publix is just because I get a nice fat dividend every quarter, and I always throw my dividend just like right into my tax advantaged accounts. So,
well, yeah, I don't know how you would do it because Publix is a private company. Chris might know as an accountant. I don't know what the rule is on private companies. You can put a private company inside your IRA, right?
Yeah, I'm actually not too sure about that. You probably can. I mean, you can buy a lot of stuff in an IRA, but
yeah, I wouldn't see what the obstacle would be. I just don't know for a fact because I've never been in a situation or even thought to look that up. I could probably Google it afterwards, but yeah, man, crush Publix until you join the military. And then once you join the military, dude, it's just going to shrink to a smaller and smaller portion of your portfolio.
I mean, aren't you going on active duty pretty soon after you graduate?
Well, I mean, I graduate from college, and then usually rated career fields, which it's usually like a 6 to 12 month wait for like an EAD, which just means like an entrance to active duty. So I have to get like a date. But I mean, the chances of me like going in like right after are pretty slim.
Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's, Air Force, that's the military with what their needs are dependent. I would try and get in there as quickly as possible so I can be as young as possible once my 20 years is up.
We'll see. I'll probably be 22 when I finally go active.
Yeah, so that's 42. And whether you want to stay active or, I mean, even if your stuff starts working for you and you unless you start to get major fame, Rob Riggle retired from the Marine Corps.
Yeah, but he wasn't active.
He was in the reserve. So, I mean, he was a Marine like half the time he was famous. I just stick it out and do 20 years. If only in the reserve or Air National Guard.
Well, Jay, what are the benefits if you do 20 as like Air National Guard?
Well, you'll still get disability. And then if I remember this correctly, I think it's 59 or 62, you start getting a pension.
I think it's 60.
60? Okay. Yeah, I mean, Chris is currently in National Guard, so he probably knows way better than I do. I was never in the Guard. I was active duty.
Yeah, no, in the reserves, you have to wait till you're 6. I'm pretty sure it's 60, and then you start getting your pension. But basically, once you retire from the reserves, you basically have this like gap where you're not collecting any pension for 20 years, and then you finally start getting it at 60. So it's okay if you like it. I mean, it's an extra check in retirement, but it's not like the end all be all. I mean, if you can go in the private sector and make way more money, you can build your own pension with your own investments, your own self-directed pension. So, I mean, it's a good deal, but if you don't like it, you don't have to do it.
Here's the thing that I'm going to say. I worked with the dudes in the Air National Guard and the reserves, and I still have a buddy who's a federal technician in the reserves, and we talk all the time. The Air Force reserves, at the very least, seem fun. Like, most of the dudes that I talk to, they're like, it's one weekend a month, man, and I generally have a good time. They're like, I'm an NCO. I go there, I drink coffee, and I tell the airmen to do all the work. And then I go and I hang out with the other NCOs. They're like, so, I mean, if you think about it like this, let's say a really great opportunity comes along for you, Nate. Let's say you're in a position where you can become a working stand-up comedian and you can make $100,000 a year. And you live frugally and you save most of that, but you still do the reserves. That's still a nice check every month coming in when you're 60 years old. And it also gives you material. This is what I would tell. Military dudes are the funniest people on the planet. Like, you and I, like, of the comedians around here, and I'm not saying anything, most of my friends couldn't write jokes in the military, but in a general conversation, most of the dudes that I hung out with in the military were funnier than the comedians that I know around here.
I understand that.
Just give it a go. Because here's one thing I'll say about the reserves is, like, I'm in the Army Reserve, so sometimes we do a lot more hardcore stuff. But if you have like a career and it's like you're exhausted, going to drill on the weekend does suck really bad because you work your butt off, Monday to Friday, and then it's like, oh crap, now I got to get up at 4 a.m, go to freaking drill. And depending on what you're doing, it can be really, crappy. And then you're just freaking exhausted because you're working 12 days in a row, basically. So, I mean, if you get out, I would try the reserves. And if you don't like it, if it's interfering with your career, and then just get out.
Yeah, we'll see.
You're in. This is why I encouraged you to take the vaccine, whether you grow a third arm or not. You going into the Air Force as an officer and getting an honorable discharge, whether you do 20 years or 6 or 4, is going to set you up for so many things in the future that even if you wanted to, still want to pursue stand-up, which I know you do, are going to put you in a position where you're going to be able to it'll be easier for you to pursue stand-up. Because when you come in, I majored in finance. I was 4 years as an officer. Immediately, any company goes, you could go back and work for Publix. I'm sure they would love to promote a guy who's an officer in the reserves to some sort of managerial position inside Publix. And I don't know. I've never worked for Publix, but it seems like a pretty good company to work for. Most of the employees, when I go there, seem pretty happy. It's not like a sense of despair that I get from the average Walmart worker who's just looking at me. I love Walmart, don't get me wrong. But a lot of the workers that I see wandering through there have a look of please execute me on their face. And I don't know if that's just the general customer that comes into Walmart, but I go to Publix, everybody's happy working there. I don't know. It's weird.
It's probably because they have to see fat
I can assure you, I can assure you, given the opportunity to go back to Publix, I would not take it 10 times out of 10.
Okay. All right. Fair enough, dude. That's just me looking in at the outside. I don't know.
Man, it sounds like Publix is like this magical place. You know how Jay is selling it.
The reason I'm selling it like that is because of their subs.
That's it, literally. The mental
they have
health
good sales. Should I buy the stock because of that?
Just the subs.
Yep. It's like, dude. Like we have this place in Western New York, and it's around a lot of other places now. It's called Wegmans. It's basically Publix, but up north, it's actually better. And they bought DeBella's subs, and those are the best subs on the planet. But Publix still has really good subs.
So I'm all in the stock, basically.
Yeah, you should put your entire... Dude, what's going to happen when everybody trades Publix subs as currency? Like, sure, I'll fix your AC. How many Publix subs is that going to cost me?
It's going to be 1/3 of a sub with 3 strips of lettuce and 1/4 tomato. Thank you.
We'll work for Publix sub.
The worst thing that Juicy Smollett did wasn't the fake lynching. It was the fact that he had a Subway sub. I'd jail him on that alone.
Chris, the same guy from last time is telling you to buy silver. He's back.
Oh God,
he has returned
Tyler,
to tell us to buy silver.
Why are you shilling silver, bro? I want to hear your amazing argument for why I should put my money into a shiny rock. I want to hear it.
Shiny rock.
That's all it is.
Euro copper core.
Euro copper core.
Yeah,
Let's
Jay,
look at this stock.
Jay, the goal is to do. I'll probably do at least 10 years, just because I feel like the more money I make in the military, the more I'll actually kind of feel incentivized for it. But I know I'm going to do at least 10 because I think 10 is the minimum as an officer to retire, and I think I'll have a good chunk of money at that point to where I can pretty much do whatever I need to. And hopefully I'll have some other income by then so that I could swing myself out into another gig.
I'm going to tell you, I think you should probably, while you're on active duty, I think you should probably pursue an accounting degree also.
Excuse me? No, just kidding.
Is this going to make you that much more?
I don't want to go back.
Is this going to make your life that much more flexible when you get out?
All right, what do y'all think?
I certainly don't want to go back to school, dude.
Yeah, it sucks, but get used to it. You're going to be in all sorts. You're going to be in all sorts of schools in the military.
That's different, though. I'm getting money to do that. I'm not paying for it.
What do y'all think about this euro?
I don't know. I can't see the numbers.
I mean, it doesn't look
Military.
maybe worth looking into, but copper's like.
Wait, dude, tell me what's the market cap?
Market cap is $1.27 billion.
What's its cash flows?
It has 5-year average free cash flow of $38 million.
I can tell you that it's probably overvalued.
So all in, yay or nay?
What's PE?
Well, it's 6, but honestly, I'm starting to move away from PE. PE is great for like a quick snapshot, but that's really on past earnings. Whereas if you're buying a stock, you're looking into the future. So it's just kind of like, I mean, yeah, the PE ratio is okay, but if a stock has a good year, it's going to have potentially a low PE. But looking into the future,
it's the future.
I look at price to earnings only as a general idea of whether I think this could be a stock you could purchase. If it's 173, I'm not interested. But if it's 14, that doesn't mean I'm going to buy it. I'm just going to go and look. An actual better thing, if you just want a quick number, in my opinion, is the PEG ratio. Peter Lynch, throughout most of his career, yes, he had the Peter Lynch fair valuation number, but a lot of times if you listen to Peter Lynch, he was looking at the PEG ratio. And a lot of companies, when you look at Microsoft and it's got like a 3-something PEG ratio right now, but if you look at its PE ratio, it's like 60, it makes sense that the PEG ratio is telling you that it's about 3 times overvalued.
Yeah. So real quick, isn't Apple like $3 trillion now? I didn't even know that was.
It's approaching it, yeah, or it's at it. I haven't looked.
Isn't that freaking insane?
That's crazy that they're about to reach 1/3 of Tesla.
I mean, Tesla should be $3 trillion, not Apple. It's stupid. Yeah, it's $2.8 trillion. Jesus.
I'm buying Tesla, baby.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take a piss. I'll be right back.
I had to take a piss, Jay. See, I like how he leaves his camera on. Let's see what we can see in his house. He still has the same discounted cash flow thing from 5 months ago.
What's funny is if the camera turned slightly to the right, his desk would be filled with shit because I've been in that house.
Oh God!
Describe it. That house. The sink in the bathroom is just covered with hair. It's just like a grizzly J.
Is it his hair or somebody else's?
It's his hair, dude. It's just like his facial hair that he keeps trimming, and he doesn't turn the sink on to wash it.
It's like, Jay, why do you have all these different women's hairs and lockets? It's really weird.
Yeah, dude. Ted Bundy's crowbar is my new ETF.
Did you actually have an attack, champ?
Dude, there should be an NFT of just Ted Bundy hitting a woman in the back of the head with a crowbar. Oh, Jay, you came back at the perfect time. The build up to that was great.
Dude, there should be like an NFT of Bill Gates and Bill Clinton on Jeffrey Epstein's pedo plane.
Dude, we should try to do an NFT. I bet you we could sell it to some chumps.
Dude, do an NFT of ApeFather down at the truck stop.
He's the DOCKFATHER. He's going to be selling his ass down at
with
the dock.
Red lipstick on. And a red dress.
Did you see this Ape Island scam he's doing? So he's like putting out this Ape Island concept where all the apes are going to go live. And of course, I like that because we can isolate it with gunboats and never let them leave. But he's not collecting money now. But his goal, it seems like eventually he's going to start accepting cash for down payments on Ape Island, which I wonder what's going to happen to that cash.
And I wonder how much time he's going to do for fraud. Should that go through? Because, that is technically fraud. But yeah, the ApeFather, we're going to be living in Ape Mansion. I'm like, bro, you're a 50-year-old guy. What is this talk? You're going to be living in Ape Mansion like you're 22 years old. Is Jake Paul going to live there with you too?
Dude,
Like, you're
Tyler
gonna be-
J's still going on about silver. He's like, I research that company all the time. It's not overvalued, you chump. I will throw everything money in the freezer.
I mean, it might be a good buy. We don't know. I mean, we just did a cursory examination. I mean, at least it's profitable. You know, unlike a lot of these stocks, these clowns are pumping.
Why are you talking about that copper company?
Yeah, Euro Copper.
Yeah. He's still talking about that one, yeah.
Tyler, just buy VT, bro. You know it's probably inside the. I probably own that stock in VT.
You definitely do. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay, I was talking about how in your sink there's just a bunch of hairs.
No, I did. My house is a mess. I'm a slob. I admit it. And it's also partially due to the fact that I don't want house guests. Like, my mom complains all the time. She'll be like, "Are you gonna get a couch?" I go, "Why? So you and Ron can like half move into my house? Because that's how that'll work. We're gonna come down to Clearwater and stay with you. And I love you, Mom, but I don't want you staying in my house." Huh?
Your dad's name is Ron?
It was my stepdad.
Ron Jeremy.
Oh, okay. Ron Jeremy.
My mom married Ron Jeremy.
Dude, you know what's funny about Ron Jeremy?
He's a rapist?
He's like 5'4". So his height to cock ratio is insane.
Is that a stock analyst? Is that a stock analysis ratio we could use?
The peg ratio of Ron Jeremy.
Oh God! Like you take the market cap and you divide it by the length of all the cocks of all the employees added up. That would be worth something.
Tyler J's making some good points here where he says, guys, Amazon and Apple can both crash every market if they both tanked. Yeah,
Dude,
I agree with you. They could. Apple's overpriced by about, guessing, I'd have to look at the numbers again, about 3 times. Amazon, I'm having a tougher time with because they're spending all their cash flows on buying equipment, like vans and planes.
For Epstein's
But I still
Island.
think, an Ape Island.
Oh, I said to go to Epstein's Island. That's what the vans and planes are for.
Just flying in dozens of underage girls.
Oh, by the way, so Sparky has a good point. So in VT, Amazon and Apple are a small percentage of that ETF. But the real thing is, if you were buying VT 20, 30 years ago, you were buying shares of Apple and Amazon when they were very, very cheap. And you've benefited from that growth all the way to now. So you can't pick a point in time and say, oh, VT has this much percentage of this. Well, there's probably another company that's going to be huge in the future that you're slowly buying into at a reasonable price right now, that will be a large or decent part of VT in the future.
Well, that's the funny thing too. When people are saying you're just mad about Tesla because you missed out on the opportunity. And then when I go, yeah, but I didn't miss out on the opportunity. Well, what do you mean? I own Tesla inside my index funds.
Yeah.
So I benefited from them going up too. I'm just here to tell you that it's massively overvalued. The weirdest thing is they think that you missed out on a stock because you're not heavily concentrated on them. But here's the thing. I don't know what companies will be the biggest in the world in 10 years, but it's probably not Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft and Tesla.
AMC.
Yeah, it's probably AMC, GameStop, Smile Direct Club, Tattooed Chef.
Tattoo Truckers Taint Sack.
Yeah. And Lemonade Stock. They'll probably be the biggest ones in the world. But if you go back and you look at the biggest companies in the world from like 2008, it's not Amazon, Microsoft, Apple. GE was one of the biggest companies in the world. Now look at it.
Hey, Jay, don't forget about Palantir.
Yeah, Palantir. I mean, it's named after that cool little thing in Lord of the Rings, and Peter Thiel runs it.
Hasn't Palantir been dipping recently?
Ooh,
Let's see.
tobacco not good. Dipping not good. Palantir stock. What's the ticker? PNTR?
PLTR?
Yeah, something like
PLT.
that.
Yes, it actually has dipped
Oh,
pretty recently. It's down 31% in the last 3 months.
Wow, guys. It's down to $19. That's so good.
That's
Aren't you guys
cheap.
so happy?
Low stock price.
Aren't you guys so happy you bought that stock 6 months ago?
Bro, here's one of my favorites. Is the it's invest with JT or something like that, the dude with the hot girlfriend.
Oh, JT Wealth. I actually want to make a video about them.
Bro, back in July, XOS stock, $9.93 back in July, August. Just looking at its underlying fundamentals, I made that video where I was like mocking him. Now it's down to $2.91.
Buy the dip, Jay. Buy the dip.
Oh, I'm sure he's just like, I'm sure that guy. See, this is another thing I don't get. Like, I don't get how you guys all lose money and then get mad at the guys that were telling you the stock had no intrinsic value, like we're heretics or something. And if we believed in the stock, that it would magically have cash flows.
When you tell them that the stock's unprofitable, they act like an animal that's been backed into a corner.
You're right. They do, dude.
You know the funniest thing about JT Wealth? If you go look at his videos, all the videos with the guy, there's not that many views. But then when they put his girlfriend or whatever on the thumbnail, it gets like 5 or 10 times more views. So I'm pretty sure I know why people watch that channel. I don't think it's for the stock advice.
Bro, I know Invest with Rose doesn't want to hear this, but she actually knows what she's talking about. I haven't watched more of her videos. She could be grifty. I don't know. But if I was an extremely attractive woman, I would do everything on my YouTube channel in a bikini. I would just go up there and be like, this is your PE ratio. This is what it means. Should have the largest channel on YouTube.
This is your PE.
Yeah, and when they're like, you're just perpetuating female stereotypes, I just go to the haters and go, yeah, and I have the largest platform on YouTube and I make millions of dollars a year and I'll be retired by the time I'm 30 and then I'll probably crap out a couple kids.
Crap them out.
Not even a woman involved, just Jay by himself poops out children.
Taking a dump and kids coming out.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You gotta check the toilet before you flush to make sure it's not a kid.
No, if it is a kid, I'm flushing it hardcore and then dumping more water down. I don't want that thing.
Dude, whenever I use the bathroom after eating comedy club food now, I'm just gonna say I'm taking an ape father. Because comedy club food is disgusting.
Dude, I like Tyler J. I'm telling you guys, the stock market is going below March 2020 levels when all the fake leveraged money is sucked out.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I believe you. Yeah,
you know what's going to recover after that dip? VT stock, baby. Woo!
It's future, bro. Wouldn't that be funny if VT like 10x because of AMC?
VT goes to $100,000 a share. And now, even though I have no idea how that's possible.
It's AMC and GME are just going to pump it to the moon, bro.
Well, Chris, don't you think that AMC is probably in VT?
Oh, it 100% is in VT.
Well, then if AMC goes to $100,000, you're winning. And so am I.
I can't lose, guys. That's the funny thing. I can't lose. If AMC goes to crap, it doesn't matter. If AMC goes to $100 trillion zillion, then crap. You know, I made a ton of money.
Dude, your response to people, like if they're like, "Oh, you're wrong about Corsair stock, Chris," you're like, "Dude, I own it.
I own them all." It's like I can't lose. It's great.
Dude, what's Corsair stock at?
Let me check.
Let me look.
It's probably in the low 20s. Corsair.
CSR?
CRSR. Well, it probably dipped because Jeremy sold some of it. He's probably like the major shareholder. It's 22.20.
Yeah, I had this stock that if you were considering it, start looking at it at like 15.
Yeah, when I initially looked at it, I was like, oh, maybe 22 and a half. And then I thought about it and I was like, okay, before the pandemic, they had super low margins, like 2%. You know, their revenue growth wasn't that impressive. I mean, it was okay. So I kind of used that assumptions going forward. And I was like, I don't even think it's a buy at 22.50. I mean, like, it's probably a buy in the teens or even lower.
I don't think it's a buy at all, much like Smith & Wesson.
Yeah, everything money pumped that. I totally disagreed. I mean, I remember when I messaged you, I looked at it, I was like, oh wow, this is great. And then I looked at it some more and I was like, maybe not.
Yeah, you looked at it.
You looked at it,
you said maybe not. Look at it. And then I looked at it and I forget what I saw, but I saw something. I'm like, bro, I wouldn't buy it, man. There's something I don't like about it. And that's why I did my most recent video. I go, this is one of the things that you have to think about when you're figuring out whether you should buy a stock. Everything is telling me, the numbers are all telling me this Smith & Wesson is a buy. But my instinct is telling me it's not. So, I mean,
it's a political swing stock, you know. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, if Donald Trump gets elected or you elect a conservative president in 2024, which I think is going to happen, they're going to run on law and order. They're not going to be talking about gun control. I think Smith & Wesson's sales and profits will drop at that point.
Yeah.
What's wrong with their company?
There's nothing wrong with the company. It's just that there's been a lot of panic buying of firearms. You can't even find ammunition in half the country. And it's not because of anything the government did. It's that people are just buying it up by the pallet. Like
the lockdowns and the riots. I mean, that's why the stock looks so amazing, because all these people just flooded in and started buying guns and ammo or whatever. And that's why all these, weapons stocks have benefited. But once that dies away, I mean, who freaking knows what's going to happen? It could revert back to pre-pandemic revenue. It could be way lower.
Yeah. And so that's why I will say this. Paul went into a company where he doesn't really understand the market with it. He understands the numbers, but he doesn't understand the market. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I think ultimately most people who know how to run numbers will fail, is they actually don't understand the market. I don't think Paul knows very much about guns. I mean, I'm not an expert.
Trained warrior.
I'm not an expert in firearms, but I can just tell you the past 2 years, defunding the police, people are scared. What do? They go out and they buy guns.
Yeah, the revenue, let me go check it real quick. I'm pretty sure the revenue exploded last year, but I mean, the revenue has massive fluctuations. It's not like this steady growth company that you can easily value. Let's see.
Yeah,
it was $1.1 billion. And then it was $1 billion before that. And then the year before that, it was $575 million.
And then if you go back and you look at their cash flows, they're all over the place.
Yeah, it's hard to value that company. I mean, you could get lucky. I'm not saying you can't.
I'm not. Look, if you're watching this video and you're saying I'm wrong on Smith & Wesson, I don't have a problem with it. There's just something I don't like about it. I'm telling you right now, I looked at the numbers and all the numbers look good. But there's something my instincts are telling me, I just stay away for now. And I said it in my video, wait a year or two to buy this company. I think you're going to have a little bit different results then.
Nothing wrong with being patient. All right, I'll be right back, and then we need to do closing comments. We got to make this a short one.
Yeah, no worries.
I actually had something to update you on Baba. I'll tell you when Chris comes back. Well, I'll tell you now, Jay. So my colonel told me basically that you're allowed to have it, but they'll just have to basically decide if your allegiance is to the United States or to China. It's because they do the same thing. If you have friends from like China or friends from Saudi Arabia, they do the same thing. It's like, do you have friends from other countries? And you have to answer that question honestly. It's the same thing. So somebody basically just basically what I was told is if you do it while you're in, it's easier after you've gotten your clearance.
Yeah. Do you have any shares currently?
No.
Yeah. Then you're fine.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll probably just wait till I get my full clearance and then I can get back in.
Yeah, and then run the numbers, man. I mean, like when you get your clearance and everything, Alibaba might not be a buy at that point. It could be overpriced.
Then maybe
it's
just VT.
So you never know. But yeah, if I was going in the military tomorrow, I wouldn't buy Alibaba. Because I know that it would just end up being this thing where it's going to be, yeah, I'll probably make a nice profit off of it, but it's ultimately going to be a bigger pain in the ass than I want to deal with. Like you just said. So
Chris,
go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead, Jay.
No,
I was gonna tell you, I talked to my cadre about it and they basically said I can own Baba. It's just like while getting my clearance, somebody's gonna have to determine, basically whether I have allegiance to the United States or to China. And if they decided it was China, I basically tell them how much I own and everything and why I own it. But
I used to be loyal to America, and then I bought 50 shares of Baba, and now I'm ready to sell the secrets.
Now I'm ready to sell out to Mossad. Anyway. But no, yeah, basically, he said it'd be easier to do while you're in, like after you get your clearance. So I might just wait.
I mean, if you're worried about it, you don't have to. I mean, God, just buy an index fund. You still own Baba there at VT. So.
I own VT.
There you go. We heard you own VT, boy.
We heard you
don't
own
like
VT.
American stocks. You like them.
You own the whole market?
You don't want to buy overpriced individual stocks?
I got a comment on this comment. It's a brah. Jay Nagy, don't agree with your statement about people who deal with numbers. Paul may be wrong but out of 10 companies with good numbers, majority will do good. Yeah, I agree with your statement. I don't know. Maybe I just misspoke. What I meant to say is I just don't agree with Paul. And I said the numbers look good, but there's just something I personally don't like. I could be wrong. But my thing is if there's something I don't like about a stock and I don't buy it, I risk nothing. If I just say, there's something I don't like about the numbers, I don't trust the market on this right now, but you're 100% right on there. If you are paying attention to the numbers and you know the market and you understand the actual company, which is one of the main things, you will do well. My thing for the average person is if you're a person that works 40 hours a week and has kids and a wife and you have all these responsibilities, how much time do you really have to do deep dives into companies? And would that time be better spent with your family? I think it would be. So I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't disagree with you. I actually think your statement's correct. I just may not have.
I mean, we're not saying he's wrong or stupid. It's just you can disagree on individual stocks. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a couple comments and then I gotta bounce. I gotta go buy some new dress pants because I'm starting a new job on Monday. I'm a tax accountant now. Let's see.
Tax loss harvesting. That's what.
Tax loss. Maybe Fufu should hire me as a tax advisor. I might actually explain the difference between taxable income and tax liability.
Dude, that would be so hilarious if he hired you, if he reached out to you like, hey man, can you help me with my tax loss harvesting?
What is the tax loss harvest? LaFufu tells his paying customers he sold Corsair before the thousands of YouTube followers because that news will move the market. It has to be illegal. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I mean, when you miss these individual stocks as a big YouTuber, you might put yourself into some muddy waters, especially if they're really low market cap. Maybe not Corsair, but some of the other stocks, like Very Good Food Company, like that's really iffy to me, pumping that stock with such a low market cap and such a large fan base. So he needs to be, I mean, I don't care if he goes to jail. I hope he does, but you need to be careful with that.
Well, that's a problem with like Beyond Meat and all the YouTubers that got paid money to shill that company, there were enough people, man, that were paid and were shilling it, very good or whichever one it was, that market cap was low enough that if enough YouTubers, they could push it. And I think that's what the company did.
That is what they do. I've seen it. I've seen
it. Yeah, you saw the company shoot up, and then now it's way down after all these. So
it's freaking gross. It's immoral. Like, you know, you get, because it's so hard to resist as a YouTuber because they're like, hey, I'll pay you $5,000 to make one video about the stock. And when somebody offers you $5,000 for an hour of work, it's like, oh man, which is why so many of these YouTubers do it. But at the end of the day, you're just perpetuating a pump and dump and you're screwing your fan base.
Which is ultimately going to lead to them later on just leaving your channel and finding somebody else.
Yeah, you have to think long term.
Right.
Like on YouTube, you know, we can do this forever because we have a good long term strategy. A lot of these clowns are just trying to grift as much as they can to get as much money as they can before the bottom falls out.
Well, 100%, man. Like that dude that was making fun of me earlier. It's not going to happen. Like, do you think I don't know that if I went and started pushing crypto and I said 5 cryptos to $5 million, that video potentially, if I did it over and over again, wouldn't blow up my channel? Thing is it's like, I would feel terrible if some grandma commented on my channel, I listened to your crypto video and now I'm down at the truck stop. I'm 80 years old. I can't recover my crypto money. Like, I don't want that to happen to people, man. It's like whether I'm right or wrong, if you listen to me or Chris or Nate, whether we're right or wrong, if we're wrong, you probably won't lose money. And that's the most important thing, is that Warren Buffett says it. Number 1 rule, don't lose money. Number 2 rule, see rule number 1.
I mean, the beauty of YouTube is you can, you know, talk about investment advice, but you don't have to take anything from your fans. You know, you don't have to sell courses because you just get paid with ad revenue. So your fans are, I mean, they're paying with their time, I guess, watching the ads, but you don't have to charge them anything and you can still make money, which is the beauty of YouTube. But a lot of these guys, they want the shortcut. They want, oh, well, I can make ad revenue and I can promote these garbage stocks. They want to get rich as fast as they can, and they don't care who they hurt.
Well, that's, if I, you know, this is the number one thing, is the best comments I get are people who are like, dude, you changed the way I look at things. Like, I'm mostly involved in index funds now, and I just use a little bit of my money for fun on stocks. And I go, yeah, there you go, man. Your money's safe. Your retirement's safe. Why would you take risks with 70-year-old used money?
Congrats on the 2K subs. Thank you. You know how long it's taken me to get to 2K? I really did think about making a hype channel. It's like an experiment, but Jay kind of talked me out of it because I'd be screwing people.
Well, I said to you, I go, how bad are you going to feel if somebody loses a massive amount of money? And also, it's just short-term thinking, like you said.
Chris, there's some new cryptos people are talking about. There's another one up above. Bin Laden?
I mean, isn't that kind of offensive? I'm just kidding.
There's another one up above. Scroll up.
Timothy, that's funny, dude.
Hey, that might make you some money, man.
Yeah, dude, that's what I think all of us. That's what I think all of us should do. Is just start creating cryptos with ridiculous names, like the most like Joe Biden's poop stained underwear coin.
Oh man, yeah. But then again, you know, even then people would get screwed. You can't win, man. You can't win.
Julius Caesar. I agree with you. Like Paul's gotten a little bit religious on Intel.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I like Intel, but we don't have time to talk about that. All right, Jay, let's respond to this, and then we'll close it out.
I'll go first if you guys want to hear. Okay, so
Okay. Yeah, go. Because this is a tough one, man. Go, Nate.
Well, if I was given 50K right now, I would wait 14 days and max my Roth IRA for the year. Just take 6,000 of it and put it in right there. And then I would, from there, I'd probably buy a little bit of Publix, and then I would probably sit on it and then wait for a bigger crash. Because, I mean, 6K in the Roth, whether there's a crash in the next 8 months or not, it's like it's gonna be okay, and that'll go back up. But like the month, I would totally just sit on that cash and wait for a crash, because interest rates they have to come up. They absolutely have to come up. And once fucking college students start paying tuition and shit, and inflation of everything else is going to follow. So I would just wait after maxing my Roth.
I pretty much agree with Nate. It's a tough question, man, because we're just in a weird time. I personally, if I came into 50K right now, I would do the same thing as Nate, except obviously the public shares, because you can't buy them. I just think there's too big an opportunity to buy a dip coming up in the next year or two. So I would probably have that money sitting in the background, just maxing my Roth as things go on. I don't know, but it's also situational to what else you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, do you have high interest? Do you have credit cards? Do you have student loans? Do you have a car payment? I mean, there's lots of factors that go into it. Get rid of high interest debt, obviously. And then another thing you can do is you max your Roth, like Nate and Jay said. And then if you're not maxing your 401k, you can massively increase your contribution. So you're maxing it as fast as possible. And you can live off that 50K until you've maxed it. And then once you max it, I mean, you can decide what you want to do at that point.
You could buy some tips and wait on it, because that'll give you a little bit better interest rate than bank account.
Tips,
Yep.
Just the tip.
Just the tips. That's I'm coming into 50K. It's a tough call. I would honestly have to think about that over a weekend to figure out what I was going to do, and I would probably talk to several people. Friends.
There's no rush. You don't have to rush and invest. I mean, yeah, there's inflation, but you're not going to lose all your money in like 5 days. You can wait.
If something I would do is, because I'm so young, I have like a lot of time, is I've heard that you can actually buy an ATM and like put it somewhere, and then over the long term, that is going to that'll make money, because you get, I think, like 5% or whatever. It might be lower. You get a percentage of what anybody uses to take out of that ATM. So that's just another way you can make like passive income.
Yeah, dude, I know a guy who owns a bar. He bought an ATM machine and put his money in there. And so he makes, every time you take out money at the bar, he makes $3.
Dude, yeah, there you go.
That's more cash flow than a lot of these companies.
That's more cash. That ATM produces more cash flow than Tattooed Chef.
All right, last thing. Are there any cool loopholes? Guys, I'm going to tell you one thing about taxes and loopholes. There's really not that many loopholes, okay? If you earn money, you're probably going to have to pay tax on it. There are little loopholes if you're super rich, and you can generate losses and offset it against income. But really, on average, there's not these crazy loopholes that people talk about. Because a lot of the times, like, people will start their own business and try to like take maximum deductions. They get audited by the IRS, and a lot of those deductions get disallowed. So don't play freaking games with taxes. Just contribute to your tax advantage accounts, and that's all you got to do. Don't worry about loopholes and try to deduct too much. That's how you get screwed.
Yeah, I mean, the basics are what works. I don't know. Everybody wants to overcomplicate it. It's like, oh, I want to get rich. What's this loophole over here? Like, dude, just max your tax advantage accounts, stay the course. You'll be fine in retirement.
And buy and hold. Don't be like Jeremy idiot, the fraud, the poo-poo face, where he freaking has $600,000 in taxable capital gains.
Woo! You know who's even worse than that? Meat Spin Kevin.
Oh, I would love to see how much tax he pays. I would love it.
Bro, on all of his options and puts and everything that he does, dude, I'm sure that his taxes eat up 70% of his profit.
It's at least 50%. at least.
Well, because he lives in Los Angeles, right?
He
Or
lives
some
somewhere.
part of California.
Yeah,
Because California
He's
is like
paying that
50% federal income tax, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's 37% for
unbelievable.
federal, and then you have California, and then you have the net investment income tax. I mean, he's just getting freaking annihilated with taxes.
And he also makes more than like he's a pretty high earner, right? Makes way more than 6 figures.
Yeah, he's in the top marginal tax bracket. When you have a short-term capital gain, that gets taxed at your marginal rate. So he's literally paying over 50% tax every time he makes a profit.
Yeah, so he pays 37%, and then whatever California's like 16.
He of all people should be listening to your advice, Chris. He's getting fucking destroyed in taxes.
He won't listen. I mean, he probably watches my. I know he watches my videos, but he's not going to listen to me because I'm mean to him. All right, I'm going
He's
to
like calling him a psycho. It's like, yeah, because you're a psychopath, dude.
He's a freaking maniac. All right. Hey, Screw College, can you like comment or email me or something? I want to see this video so I can make or like get information so I can make a video making fun of him because this looks like gold to me. It'll probably trigger him to comment on my video again.
It actually looks like silver, according to Tyler J.
I remember, man, buy silver. Just buy bars of it. Put it everywhere in your house.
All right.
Watch your house go up in value.
Jay, any last comments?
Nah, man. I'm good.
Good. Nathan, any last comments?
Max your tax advantage accounts, and if you have a couple seconds, visit nathanroscoe.com and check out some of my stuff.
All right, thanks
He's
for coming
a good
on,
comedian.
guys. And y'all have a wonderful day.
He's way funnier than Amy Schumer.